G'day, mate. Thanks for the comment. So what is the best way to get kids into investing? I'm looking at the top 200 index fund. Is it better to go direct or to use an app like Raise? Really great question. Happy to cover it off. This is not advice. This is purely educational. Make sure that you do your own research or go and get some financial advice if you are in doubt before you take any action. So investing for kids is really a couple of key considerations. And we put that into kind of three buckets for most people. You either invest direct, you put money into, say, an offset account, or you utilize something that's referred to as an investment bond or an insurance bond, okay? There are some pros and cons for each of them, which I'm going to cover off and give you some insight around that. Now, the first way is investing direct. So apps like Raise and other apps like it allow you to create a segmentation whereby you can put money aside for kids. Now, typically speaking, these types of platforms invest in your own name. So therefore, it gets added to your taxable income. There are some potential tax considerations that need to take place. And also, if you do transfer those assets into your kids' names in the future, that is going to be a capital gains tax event. So depending on the amount of money that we're talking about here, that may or may not be of anything of significance, but it is something that we need to keep in mind. Now, the benefit associated with that is super easy, particularly when we're using platforms like Raise or whatnot. It's got the app, it's all included. You can make the segmentation, you can contribute to it. You can go into a diversified index portfolio, which is typically over time, assuming that you're investing in a growth profile, where you've got the majority of your money into the share market. It outperforms money sitting in cash, and most kids' savings accounts produce terrible returns. So it's typically not an option that we typically advocate. The downside is that because it's in your name, providing that kind of that tacit knowledge, that experience of the kids actually managing the money, being actively involved, is a little bit more challenging. So I would see that being as more of a passive thing. Let the kids know that you're putting some money aside. However, it's not really providing them with any practical or transferable skills, which I suspect this is what you're getting at here. The second option is to put it into an offset account. Now, once again, the idea here being that it provides you with a risk-free rate of return. If you've got a principal place of residence or a mortgage, let's say you're paying a 6% rate, you've got to earn money, pay tax to then pay your mortgage rate. So it's equivalent to a risk-free return of around about 8 or 9%, depending on your marginal tax rate. The benefit of that is that it is risk-free because for every dollar that you put into that offset account, it's a dollar that you're not paying interest on, compared to investing in the share market. As we know, it goes up and down. However, you can lose transparency, right? If you lump it in with all the rest of the money, it doesn't really provide a lot of clarity. How much is yours? How much is for the kids? Some banks do allow you to have multiple offsets. So for some of our clients, they set up an offset account specifically for kids' savings. But once again, it's not really exciting. It's not teaching the kids those skills. So the other option, which I'm a big fan of, I do this myself, is called investment bonds or insurance bonds. An investment bond is basically a tax-paid investment product. It operates a bit like a company. So therefore, we've got a product that in any investment returns, once we put money into it, is taxed at a flat rate of 30%. So if you're earning more than $200,000 a year, straight off the bat, it is basically more tax effective than investing in your own name. The added benefit is that if we hold the investment bond for more than 10 years, it becomes capital gains tax free. And that is on the initial contributions, any contributions we make along the way, and any ongoing contributions that we make after 10 years. I personally do this for my little sister. I use this as an opportunity to build for her education or her deposit on her first property. And basically, the whole idea is that I have control. It's in my name. But I have the ability to transfer it into her name at any point in time. There is no CGT, there's no stamp duty, and it doesn't reset the 10-year rule. So it gives me a lot of flexibility. So for many of our clients, myself included, you have control and you can use it as an education piece. It's segmented, show them how it works, get them contributing to it, give them a vested interest. 2, it's not in their name, meaning that you still have control. And 3, if they turn into little shits and you don't feel that they're ready to take on that responsibility, you can keep it in your name until such time as you transfer it. There's no real consequences associated with doing so. So it could be a really great strategy. The biggest consideration is, one, there are many investment bond providers out there. Some of them are quite expensive. The one that we use, unfortunately, I can't tell you the name on here because it's deemed as inferred advice. It's very cost effective. It's about 0.6% in terms of an overall cost for the administration and also the investment fee. It invests in a diversified index fund, so it's produced good returns at a low cost, and it provides a lot of benefit. The next biggest consideration is a limitation to the strategy that's called the 125% rule. So because of such a lucrative nature of that CGT free after 10 years, the government caps the amount of contributions that you can make each year to 125% of what you put in the previous year. So for example, if you put in $1,000 this year, you can only put in $1,250 next year. And if in year 3 you put in 0, in year 4 you can't put anything because 125% of 0 is 0. And if you breach this 125% rule, it restarts the 10 years. And the reason why they do this is so you don't get to year 9 and dump in like $1 million, and then therefore you get everything CGT free from any growth there onwards. They basically want to make sure that you've got a regular contribution strategy, and essentially you can only increase it by about 25% per year. So that's really the main consideration. Now, it's important to get advice on these things because they can be complicated, choosing the right product. This is what a good financial advisor should be able to help you with. The other alternative, which I didn't mention, is the kids investing in their own name. And I think the big challenge with that long term is, one, you don't have control over it. And two, minors tax rates are really, really severe. So kids can only earn up to about $416, I think it is, tax free. Between that and about $1,500 a year is about 66% tax. And then anything there and beyond is about 47% tax. So basically, they get taxed on everything over $400 a year at half. So not really ideal. So there are much better ways to structure it, in my opinion. This just gives you a crash course on some of those options. So it really is about understanding what are you trying to achieve in terms of teaching the kids and setting them up for the future. 2, what is the mechanism or the platform or structure in which you want to do that? Is it direct? Is it through a platform like Raise? Is it through your mortgage? Is it through something like an investment bond? Is it in the kid's name? And then ultimately, how much do you want to contribute in order to achieving a particular goal for the kids? It always pays to work backwards. What are you trying to achieve? And then reverse engineer it into how much you need to be contributing, and obviously the estimated rate of return of what that's going to get you. If you're interested, in my bio, in our Facebook group, I have a whole heap of these calculators and tools that help you do this kind of forecasting. So feel free to go check them out. If you've got any other questions, let me know. Otherwise, catch you next time.